Hello everyone, my name is Formosa and I'm here to show you most of the Easter eggs in the remake of Resident Evil 2. This is your warning that there may be spoilers in this video, so view at your own discretion. Easter eggs in video games are hidden references, special scenes, or nods to other works that are designed to be discovered by players as a fun surprise. Resident Evil 2 Remake features several Easter eggs that pay tribute to the original 1998 game, reference other Resident Evil titles, or even include clever inside jokes from the developers themselves. Starting off at the very beginning of the game, the gas station, if you're playing as Leon, his car license plate reads M4TILD4. If you replace the number 4s with A's, it spells out Matilda, which is the name of Leon's pistol throughout the game. Similarly, Claire's motorcycle license plate reads MD3 space H3VN. The plate appears to be from Indiana, so if you read it as if it were words and include the IN from the place itself, it basically reads out Made in Heaven. This is a reference to the Queen song of the same name, and you may recognize that Chris Redfield also has a brown jacket that you can see in the STAR's office with Made in Heaven written on the back. Near the gas pumps, there's a sign for Colombian Roastmasters. While it might not mean much to most Resident Evil players, longtime Capcom fans might recognize it as the name of a coffee shop in Dead Rising. On the front door of the gas station, there's also a note that looks like a phone number, but if you look closely, it actually reads 1998-01-29, the Japanese release date of the original Resident Evil 2, January 29th, 1998. Inside the station, you'll find an ice cream display for Herb's Ice Cream featuring the tagline "Herbs Heal You." It's a playful nod to the healing herbs from the series, which are one of the main restorative items alongside first aid sprays. Once you reach the streets of Raccoon City, there are several small details in callbacks that are easy to miss. You can spot a restaurant called Mikhail's Pierogi's Authentic Russian Cuisine, which is a direct reference to Mikhail Victor, a character from Resident Evil 3. There's also a poster on a storefront window for a photographer named Frank East, which is a clear nod to Dead Rising's protagonist Frank West, who's famously a photographer as well. Another storefront reads Aruka's, which spelled backwards becomes Sakura, a reference to Sakura Kasuguno from Capcom's Street Fighter series. Inside the RPD building, the developers hid quite a few tributes. In the main hall, the large statue where you place the medallions to progress has several names inscribed on the front. These aren't random, they're actually the names of the members of the translation team who helped localize the game from Japanese to English. After acquiring the combat knife and opening up a new area, you can find a bronze statue with text engraved on it. At the bottom, there's a slogan that reads, "We do it." This references a famous developer moment when Resident Evil 2 Remake was finally announced. Producer H appeared in the video wearing a shirt that said "We do it," which is a nod to how long fans have been asking Capcom to remake the game. In the operations room, you'll find a whiteboard with a note that very vaguely reads "Jill's Sandwiches." This is a callback to the infamous line from the original Resident Evil where Barry says,
"You were almost a Jill sandwich."
In the West office, there are several fun details worth noting. On one of the lockers, you'll see the name JoJo, a reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is another beloved Japanese series. If you inspect the cluster of desks in the room, you'll find the name Rita Phillips. Rita Phillips is an RPD officer who managed to escape the building during the outbreak, which you can see in Resident Evil Outbreak File number 2. Above these desks is a banner that reads "Welcome Leon." Fans of the original Resident Evil 2 might remember on his desk there was a poster that appeared there and it famously had a typo. It said "Welcome Leon," but it was spelled with 2 L's. In the remake, the typo is fixed, but there's a small gap between the L and C, suggesting that one of the letters fell off. If you inspect a nearby desk, you'll even see the extra L lying there, which is a clever inside joke referencing the original translation error. In the original Resident Evil 2, if you searched Albert Wesker's desk 50 times, you'll eventually find a hidden photo of Rebecca Chambers, which was titled Rising Rookie. In the remake, Wesker continues his old habits. If you find the roll film labeled Hiding Places and follow the clues, you'll eventually open a drawer containing a wooden box. If you search that same spot again on the desk, you'll also find another roll film, which is labeled Film D. When developed in the darkroom, room, it reveals, once again, a photo of Rebecca Chambers, this time in a slightly more suggestive pose than in the original. There are also some Easter eggs specific to Claire's campaign. In one section, you enter a room filled with armless mannequins while retrieving an electronic part to gain access to the parking garage keycard. This is a callback to the unsettling mannequins from Resident Evil 7. Later, when playing as Sherry, there's a scene where Chief Irons breaks through a door while chasing her, a moment clearly inspired by the movie The Shining, where Jack Nicholson's character breaks through a door shouting,
"Here's Johnny!"
While exploring the Nest laboratory, there's a computer file located near one of the save rooms. Inside are several staff names, but two stand out to fans: Cyril Archer and Desmond Locke. These are likely Easter eggs referencing the TV shows Archer and Lost, as both feature characters with those same names: Cyril Figgis and Sterling Archer in Archer, and Desmond Hume and John Locke in Lost. Finally, during the second run playthrough, once you use the bolt cutters to open the first door, you may notice a poster featuring Brad Vickers, the helicopter pilot from the original Resident Evil. This is a nod to the 1998 version of Resident Evil 2, where if players reached the same area without picking up any items, they'd encounter a zombified version of Brad as a secret boss. These are most of the Easter eggs found in Resident Evil 2 Remake. While there are likely even more hidden details throughout Raccoon City, these are the ones that stood out the most to me. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more Easter egg videos, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also create achievement guides for games like Resident Evil 2, and I stream a couple times a week. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.